Good morning RH simulation members, hello again on this new video. So today's video I want to clarify some things because I started receiving some comments, and I would like actually to keep all my videos clear and without any conflict for the members. So basically, first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. So I am a PPL holder pilot from EASA. I did it in Spain, and I am also ATPL certificate theory holder. So I passed all my ATPL exams, and I did my time building and the rest of the training. But still, I am right now in the phase of instrument rating, multi-engine, and CPL. So to start first, I want to show you the two types of training. So how you can become a pilot, where there is 3 or 4 more ways that you can become a pilot. But I want to start first of all, well, there is 4, let's say. You can go via the military way, or you can go modular, or you go integrated, or you go with university program. So I went modular course. So modular course is basically longer, much longer, and much longer than integrated. I'm comparing with integrated again. So the PPL, what I did my PPL exam, the modular course. So I did PPL exam. I studied, well, this is from Canavia school here in Spain that I didn't study. It was just an example. So I did the PPL course of 16 weeks were the theory. Then you need to do 45 hours of flight training, not 46.5. The minimum required is 45. You do your training, then you go to ATPL theoretical exam. You have 13 subjects. Let's stop here. We are still in the modular. During the ATPL courses, you will study what I have studied. I go here. Let's put test. You study these 13 subjects, okay? You study air law, what basically it talks about rules and regulation, how to of the air, basically. Then you go AGK, aircraft general knowledge, airframe systems, electrics, power plants. Then you have instrumentation. So here in airframe system, electrics, power plant, we are studying not the Airbus A320 or the Boeing 737. We are studying all the systems that we have in general aircrafts. Let's put study. We have system design, load, stress, maintenance. We have airframe, hydraulics, landing gear, wheel, tire, brakes, flight control, pneumatic, pressurization, air conditioning, anti-ice, de-ice, fuel system, electric system, piston engine, turbine engine, protection and detection system, oxygen system. So it has nothing to do with the Airbus A320. Again, my channel, it's not for to use in the real life. I'm not using real SOP. Neither with an airline company. I am just PPL holder pilot with ATPL exams all done, and I'm continuing with my CPL. So I am sharing what I have studied in the ATPL, because still I am learning, and we are all learning in this world, in the world of aviation. Then you will have instrumentation. In instrumentation also, you study sensors and instruments, pitot tube, everything. You study measurement of air data parameters, magnetism, gyroscopic instruments, inertial navigation, which is the IRS. So I know what I'm talking about once I'm recording the videos. Trim, yaw damper, what does it mean, yaw damper, flight envelope protection, auto thrust, everything. Communication, flight management system, here we have. And management and guidance system, FMGC. So in this, we are not going to know how you program your MCDU in the Boeing and then in the Airbus. No, you just know that there is an init page, there is a performance page. We calculate both navigation and performance. We calculate fuel. That's it. Nothing else. And you know what does it mean, the RINC 424, etc. There is some technical words that I can not enter in details in the video. Why? To not get the video longer and bored, because my purpose of the channel is doing simulation in the Airbus A320 and understand the Airbus A320. So, and also very important note, I am flying the Airbus A320 by myself. I'm not doing 100% full procedures, because the Airbus A320, to fly it, you need two persons. You need pilot flying and pilot monitoring. In my videos, I'm pilot flying and pilot monitoring. So I am more subjected to errors than two pilots. So in this case, for sure, I'm going to commit errors, but the main idea that I want to share is here. For example, I talked about electric system, I clarified what is the AC current, DC current, how we go from AC to DC, in order for you guys to understand the ECAM pages of the Airbus A320. But I didn't talk about emergencies, how to handle it, because I didn't pass my MCC. We are going to cover more. So this is just an example. Then we have mass and balance. I talked about mass and balance. So what I talked about mass and balance, the purpose of mass and balance considerations, why we have zero fuel weight, why we use it, why we use CG, to clarify in general, not into details, to clarify in general, what does it mean this? Also, I didn't talk about loading. I talk about center of gravity limitations, how to calculate it, the total moments divided by the total weight, and then you get your CG. The loading, I talked about what is the basic empty mass, the dry operating mass, how to get from dry operating mass to zero fuel mass. Zero fuel mass equal dry operating mass plus the traffic load. So I'm talking about this kind of information that you should know as a flight simer or as aviation lover. You like aviation, I'm talking about this, but I'm not getting into details. Look here, extracting of basic empty mass and CG data from aircraft documentation, or determination of aircraft empty mass and center of gravity by weighing. Determination here of center of gravity, the methods, the load and trim sheet. I didn't get into details. I was just talking in general. The cargo handling, I didn't even mention it. So in order where you are going to know your Airbus A320 when you enter in the airline, because when you study the CPL, you are studying something different. Performance also. We have human performance and limitation. This is medicine, meteorology, general navigation, radio navigation. This is how we have radio aids. What is the ground direction finding, the non-directional radio beacon, the VOR, DME, ILS. So once I talk about ILS, I know in general that we have two systems. We have the glide slope and the localizer, and you can be within limits. Within half deflection. If you pass half deflection, you are unstable, you go around. The microwave landing system, even I mentioned it, that we are not using right now. We have radar, how to you understand the radar, pulse technique, airborne weather radar, secondary surveillance radar, and transponder. I'm not going to enter in detail on my video because it's not my purpose. My purpose is to enjoy flying the Airbus A320 and to make it easy for my followers, not to complicate things, because at the end, I'm not an authority, I'm not a flight school, I'm not working with the EASA or with something else. I'm just PPL holder pilot and still studying, still learning. So in one video I did a mistake that I entered in the init page. In the secondary flight plan, I entered the alternates, the SID and star of the alternate, that I should do it in the initial flight plan, in the A, not in the secondary flight plan. And I have received the comments that no, you should not say you are real pilots. You should not say, my friend, we are here learning together. And I am sharing what I have studied in the ATPL. If we go then, we have operational procedures. I mean, even you, if I ask you about what does it mean, I don't know, you do question from 3-dimensional airflow around an aeroplane, you are going to make a mistake, because these things, we are not using it in real life. We are not using means to reduce the coefficient of lift and coefficient of drag ratio. We are not doing aerodynamics. These things we should study it as general, because you cannot fly the Airbus if you don't pass the ATPL, or the Boeing if you don't pass the ATPL. You should know what does it mean MAC-TAC. You should know what does it mean. Here we have it, stolen MAC-TAC, upset prevention and recovery training. This is, we do it in our training in order to know how to cover the aircraft. You should know the stability, the control. Even in the interview, they are not going to ask you about everything. They are going to ask you about some things that are related to ATPL, because once you are going to fly, maybe you will use from these 13 subjects, you will use only 5% of them. Once you are flying, you are applying procedures of the company. You are not applying real life. So my purpose in the channel is I'm going to share with you this. For example, I talked about electrics. I'm going to talk about fuel, about hydraulics. That's it about pressurization. I'm not going to talk about piston engine because it's not in my channel. I'm going to talk about turbine engine, protections and the detection system, oxygen, but just a small idea, my friend. I'm not going to enter into details because it's going to be a board channel. It's not the purpose of my channel. The purpose is to enjoy the Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and I will give you an idea that you will have. So I did the modular course, but this is once you finish the time building, you go to night rating, and then you start what I'm starting right now, the basic instrument rating multi-engine, and then the CPL, and then you go with UPRT, which is upset prevention and recovery training. Then you do here your MCC, the final step, multi-crew corporation. Here you are going to apply some let's say procedures from the Airbus or from the Boeing 737. Here you are going to learn, or even the FMPT. Here you are going to learn how to fly with another pilot, multi-crew cooperation. What does it mean? Pilot flying, pilot monitoring, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So here we go to the integrated. I'm bringing the this PDF from EASA Europa. So this is the official manual. So in ATPL, what they do, they are not going to pass by PPL. They are going to study a ground school, a pre-entry to ATPL theory. They study 9 subjects that we studied in the PPL. But as modular course, I'm going to pass the PPL into a center. We call it here in Spain Senasa, where you pass your official exams. The ATPL integrated, they are not going to pass these 9 exams. Once they finish the ground exams of the school, they pass directly to ATPL theory. And then they will do the following: first solo, then first solo cross country, they fly from airport to airport. Phase 3, they do VFR navigation progress check, and then they pass directly to instrument rating, and then advanced UPRT, and then MCC. So instrument rating for sure, multi-engine, etc. So this is what they this is, look, the design of the ATPL integrated course. This is the manual. I will leave it in the description to take a look. And here you have the phase 1, what you should learn, module 1, module 2, how to do stall flights, slow flight stalls, spin avoidance. So my friend, we have a lot of things. If I do a mistake in the Airbus procedures, that doesn't mean that I'm not well prepared, because first of all, I'm doing this in my at home for non SOPs. I mean, I'm not following an SOPs of the A320, for example, for X company or Z company. No, I'm following what I have studied in the ATPL. So I will give you the base, guys, but I'm not going to give you everything. You should also go. For example, I told you that you can calculate the zero fuel weight by bringing the dry operating mass plus the traffic load. You will get zero fuel weight. But I didn't tell you that the zero fuel weight is also the takeoff weight minus the takeoff fuel. Because if I will talk, I will say this, you are not going. My video are going to be bored. It's going to be a boring video. So I hope I clarified this, and I'm going to say it again. My channel is for simulation and educative, let's say educative content. I'm not doing this to apply it in the real world. So this is, I want to clarify this, guys, and thank you so much for the support and for the positive comments. And for sure, guys, if you see any error that I did in the MCDU, just let me in the comments. But there is some comments that they leave all the good things or the basis or the main ideas that I told, and they go through error that I did, which is not going to affect the flight that much. Maybe it's going to affect a little bit fuel performance, but this is not an ATPL school. I'm not saying RH ATPL school. I'm saying RH simulation. So my friend, thank you so much for seeing the video till the end. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, my friend, just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, RH member, and see you in the next video. Ciao ciao.